If you 30 plus with no kids right now, man, clap it up for yourself. You hear me? You are still part of the elite. You are still highly valued on the market. See, I look around when you say that, you know what I'm saying? You shorty, as soon as they already know you out here with no kid, 30 plus on your shit. Boy, draws be flying all over your head, you hear me? Now, if you hear you got kids, that's okay. You can at least support what I'm gonna be sharing today for my men without kids to watch out for, because I feel like some of y'all probably fell for these things, or for your next woman you decide to conceive with, you definitely don't wanna fall for these things. But let's get right into it. For today's video, we're gonna talk about the 5 types of women that you need to watch out for when it comes to having your first kid, okay? Because this, a lot of times, is gonna be disguised behind a whole bunch of smiles and a whole bunch of I love yous, but really, it's all just a facade to trap you, take you off the market, make you low value. But I don't want that for y'all. So let's talk about it. First type of woman that you have to watch out for is the checklist woman, all right? Man, this woman will be the epitome of wasting your time, okay? Now, the checklist woman is the woman who already has an entire plan in place that literally has nothing to do with you, right? So before they even meet you, they already have everything on their timelines and exactly how they want to accomplish it and when they want to accomplish it, and whether you are involved in their life or not, they are going to accomplish these things, okay? And I have dealt with women like this, right? And an example would be when you start talking to somebody, you getting to know them, right? But whole time, they just like trying to secretly reel you in, and then they just unload the whole plan on you. And that actually, in the last 2 years, has happened to me twice. You feel me? The first one happened where me and the shorty was talking. Then around like the 5th or 6th month mark, she was like, just so you know, and by the way, she was 29. She was like, just so you know, I had planned on having my first kid by 30. And if you don't want to do it, then I'm gonna go ahead and get inseminated, you know, to be able to have that baby, because, you know, based on my timeline. I'm like, damn, shorty, only known you for 6 months. Like, you already ready to have a baby with me? And then she was like, well, yeah, because, you know, my biological clock and this. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I ended it because I was like, man, listen, that's just putting too much pressure on me to make a decision like that in literally like the next couple months. And I don't even know you to that extent. So I got up out of there. Next dude, he got trapped. You hear me? Another instance, now this one happened about like 8 months ago. I was talking to this one shorty, and this went on for like 8 months. And then afterwards, she was 27. She ended up being like, just so you know, I wanted to get engaged and married before I have kids. I was like, well, of course, you know, I like that path. I'm good with that. Oh yeah, I wanted to do this by 29. Oh, so you need to be engaged this year, and then we need to go ahead and get you pregnant going into the top of next year to fulfill your goals. And then she's like, well, yeah. I got up out of there. Second type of woman that you want to avoid is the support hack. These women only care about you for financial gain and nothing else. Now, I get that a person can go, well, that makes sense, because if a woman's choosing her partner, she should choose the most financially stable person. That ain't what I'm speaking on, right? Because we all even have criteria where we're like, okay, does this work? Does this not work? These are the ones who, and I'll give y'all the story of what happened to me of when I first experienced this. So I had met this shorty. She had the luxury whip, luxury condo. She invited me there. I get upstairs or whatever. She's like, yo, I'm about to hit the bathroom. So I see all these papers on the counter. And I'm one of those people, if I see it and I want to look, I'm going to look. So I turn around and I'm scanning them, and I see it's budgeting and like financial stuff. And I'm like, oh, okay. Then I'm like looking harder, and I'm like, hold up. You got $60K in credit card debt, but your bills come up to like $6,500 a month, but you only make like $7,000. How you going, with $500, you gonna pay this bill? And so my brain is like firing off, you feel me? Like, how's this gonna work? So she come out the bathroom and I asked. And so I'm one of those people who, I ain't gonna also look at your stuff and then not say nothing. I think that's weird energy too. It's kind of like gossiping per se, right? Like I would never do that. If I got something to say to somebody, I'm just gonna say it straight. And so she come out and I was like, hey, so I did look over your papers just now because they right here in my face. Can you give me some insight on how you're gonna pay this credit card debt off? And she straight up was like, oh, I'm not planning to pay that off. Like, we meant to live in debt. And like my future husband, he'll take care of that for me. Now, I thought that situation was an outlier because this happened when I was 26. So we going almost, 7-8 years ago. But no, you don't even gotta just listen to me. Check online at the amount of women who are now older, they're turning their lives around on their own, but then they'll share it. Like, yeah, I was living way outside of my means, trying to attract X or just doing it in general. And their plan was to meet a man who would come in and just take care of all their debt. And a lot of men have done it in their lives, feeling like they just supporting their woman. But really, you just got scammed. It's the same thing when somebody just get married for a couple years and then divorce you to take half your bread, right? So please, guys, watch out for that. The third type of woman that you want to avoid is the settler, okay? Now, this is the woman who has exhausted all of her options and you are literally just the final choice. You are just someone to procreate with, right? It's a similar analogy to this concept would be, if you've ever been in the club, right, and you've been drinking all night and you was going at the shorties you was really attracted to at the beginning of the night, like you felt like you was gonna get a win there. But as the night progressing, you not getting no wins. But you just keep drinking, right? And then it hit like 2, 3 a.m. and now all the beautiful women gone. All the ones you wanted out the door, but it's those stragglers that stay around and you like, man, it's 3 a.m. I'm off this drink. It is what it is, right? A lot of men have done this, no matter what you look like either, right? Whether you're a really attractive guy or people don't consider you that attractive. It's like most men have ended up in that situation, especially if you're not rich and you've made a decision to go with something that you definitely don't want to be seen in public with under any condition, right? But it satisfied that just desire you needed in that moment. That's how it is with them choosing their partner. You are literally just the last scrape of the barrel because everybody that they wanted is either taken or long gone or they couldn't attract them and you're just an option. So they'll never actually really love you, but at least you were able to occupy that space. Fourth type of woman you want to avoid is the no-brainer, okay? Now, these are the women that cannot speak or do anything by themselves. They run everything by the friend group, okay? And the worst part about those scenarios is that a lot of times they are only sharing like all of the negative things that you do, right? For that drama and that chaos. And the worst part about it is that their friends a lot of time is gonna feed into that component. They aren't gonna go, hey love, you know that you have a lot of flaws as well that he's most likely overlooking. Why don't you ever consider looking over any of his flaws? Does he really not do anything good for you? That's not what they're there for. They're the support to the madness, right? And so what'll happen in that situation is you'll continually find yourself on the losing end because the stories that they're sharing, they gotta stick with what their friends are saying. Their friends are like, oh, he ain't a good man. He don't support you the way you need to be supported. Leave him for somebody else. How many times y'all done seen that under comments under somebody's video, I don't know, talking about relationship? They have zero context to the entire situation, but one little thing could happen. The man will open the door. I would leave him. He don't know how to treat a woman. Those are the ones that be single and miserable. But guess what? Misery loves company. And so if a woman ain't able to do things by herself and she always up her friend's ass, do not pull the trigger on that one. And the fifth and final woman you definitely don't want to conceive with is the media abuser, okay? Now, what that is the woman who posts literally every single thing online, okay? Everything they eat, everything they talk about, anything that comes to their mind, they have to put online. Their life is like some make-believe show that they feel like everyone's the audience and they're just waiting to be tuned in to just gravitate toward their greatness and their delusion, right? Yes, want to stay away from that. Why? Because nothing about your life will be private. See, we as men, we do, of course, enjoy getting some type of validation, but not to that extent, right? And when you fall victim to someone who just abuses the media, now it'll feel like you never have privacy. You'll feel like you're always putting on a performance. And a lot of you all even know how it is in those beginning stages of dating, right? How fast as men do you want to get to like, yo, we just are comfortable around each other and you want to get over that performative dating state, you know? Imagine being in that performative state for your entire life, or especially when you get a child. Or let's just say you're one of those people like me where you don't want to put your future child on social media, right? That's not in their plan. And I actually talked to somebody like this as well, who just wanted to put everything on the media. And I told them ahead of time, like, yeah, if we ever get to that place, that's not happening. And as you clearly see, it didn't work because I did what? Packed my bags and got up out of there, all right? For now, we'll stop there. If y'all got any more, definitely put them down in the comment section, because remember, we trying to protect ourselves, man. If you ain't got no kids right now, you 30 plus, you doing good for yourself, you are highly valued out in these streets. And the last thing you want to do is give up your value for nonsense. The importance of your partner and your future peace is incomprehensible. You know how someone says it's priceless? I think it's beyond that, right? Because have you ever been in a relationship where you get home and you truly just want to sit in the car instead of go in the house because you know your mood gonna be torn down because of just who they are as a person? And if you felt that right there, just imagine like one of those types is your partner the rest of your life. So the rest of your life, you have to think about the point that when I go home, be miserable. Now I know a person could go, the rest of your life, that's a bit extreme, you're gonna leave. But no, if you've waited this long, you want your future partner to be somebody you actually spend the rest of your life with. At least that's how I feel. That's why I'm so selective, because I'm like, I'm gonna have a kid one day, but I wanted to be with somebody at least, I know you can't guarantee nothing, but at least I vet it to the extent that I'm like, yo, I feel like we can have deep convos. I feel like there's definitely gonna be disagreements that we can talk through. You know, the emotion is there, the compatibility is there, the love languages can line up the way we need. Like, you see, there's things in my mental checklist that, of course, it don't need to be perfect because that's not how we operate, but there are certain things that I'm like, they're non-negotiables because I understand that longevity applies, right? Like financial literacy. If a person is more infatuated with, oh, I had a hard day, I want to go spend money, versus, oh, I had a hard day, but now it just compounds on to the next day. Like, I want to date the latter. I want to marry the latter. I want to have kids with the latter, not the first person, right? Who's always looking for a dopamine hit. Overall, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Make sure you're using that condom if you turning around here sleeping with those first 5 types, because I don't want y'all to get trapped. I don't want y'all to end up miserable. If more men would actually watch this video and comment down below the mistakes they made with their selection or how miserable their life is being on child support, like, y'all would be like, yo, I do not want to live like that. And I know some people right now who's suffering through that. And let me tell y'all, they not the men they used to be. You hear me? Man, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you just like real, authentic life advice. And I will see everybody at the top.